Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. Sorry about missing the show on Monday. There was a bit of an issue going on at the studio with construction outside. Kind of knocked the power out on the in the building for a little bit. So I do apologize for that. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I got a big show for you guys today. Lee Zeldin endorses Donald Trump, proving that he was always America first, despite what retards might want to say. And I mean that genuinely, retard, horror, retarded. We're going to get to that. Also, I've got an interesting story for you about just how much New York State Democrats care about Native Americans. Spoiler alert, they don't. It's simply about punishing people who don't vote for them. Also, I'm going to introduce you guys to someone called the genderbread person. The genderbread person. Well, what the hell is a genderbread person? I'm sure you guys can figure out how dumb this is going to be happening in the Merrick High School. So, yay, one more school board meeting we get to go to and cause a ruckus because science teachers suck. And I got to read this opinion piece from this fat-ass columnist in Newsday. His name is Danny Jensen. Danny Jensen. For some reason, Danny Jensen of Newsday has felt the need to go after a congressional candidate in Ohio. Okay, so let me get this straight. So you write for a newspaper that's based on Long Island, and you're going after an Ohio congressional candidate. A friend of the show. He's been on the show before. You guys know who he is. When I tell you why, you know who he is. You'll totally get that. You'll totally get why you guys know of this guy. But before we get started, guys, a quick word from a new sponsor of the show. I'm super excited, guys, to finally be able to bring to you guys the phenomenal, the spectacular. Let me pull this up real quick. My Pillow, baby. My Pillow, guys. You guys can go to mypillow.com. Use promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's promo code LOUD for 80% up to 80% off everything on the website. I want to thank the great Mike Lindell for bringing me on board here to help out with help get the message out about the phenomenal things My Pillow has to offer. You guys can get dog beds, slippers, the Giza Dream Sheets. You can get the phenomenal, as you see on the screen, My Pillow 2.0, baby, with a buy one, get one. We call it a BOGO. Buy one, get one free from the great Mike Lindell. I want to thank him for supporting this show and supporting Patriots all over the nation. Guys, go to mypillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's mypillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. I can't wait. My dog bed should be coming in soon, so I can't wait to have my little buddy sleeping on the same fantastic pillows that I sleep on. Maybe he'll stay out of the bed, but probably not. Guys, go to mypillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. Thank you to the great Mike Lindell. So, obviously, the big news coming out of Long Island is that Lee Zeldin has come out and endorsed President Trump over his friend, Ron DeSantis. I think it's fairly obvious that everyone knows that Lee Zeldin has always been a Trump supporter. He's always been a fan of President Trump. As a matter of fact, he had, I think, 3 fundraisers at Mar-a-Lago. So let's put it out there in generalities, okay? Let's just say you were, like, mentally retarded and couldn't read, but had, like, you know, a giant warehouse where you took taxpayer money from Northwell Health to store COVID material that none of us needed. Let's say that was you. And you wanted to throw a temper tantrum every time people didn't do exactly what you said. And you wanted to put devil horns on a picture of a Jewish man. Let's say you were that guy. And you got very upset when people didn't support your Nepo baby for governor. Well, here's the proof that Lee Zeldin has always been America first, and you don't understand a single thing about politics because you're not all that bright. By the way, you also said on camera that you only last 30 seconds in bed. So let's just say you were that guy. Here's me and Lee telling you to go fuck yourself. But let's move on from that. I'm sure you guys can figure out who I'm talking about there. And if you can't, don't worry about it. If you're not from Long Island, don't worry about it. It's not worth mentioning ever again. Here today, gone tomorrow. Here today, gone tomorrow. As we say. But the big story, we've been talking about for a while how New York Democrats have been really on this trip about renaming all of the mascots here on Long Island. 11 schools have to rip up their turf and get new signage all over their schools. They've got to make new uniforms. They've got to get new apparel. Millions and millions of dollars are going to be wasted. Millions of dollars are going to be wasted because the Native Americans are so important, and we really want to do what we can to not disparage their legacy. We want to do what we can to not upset them in any way. Well, it turns out, no. Just like most Democrats always do, it's just about the virtue signaling. There's no merit. There's no substance behind anything they want to do. Because despite the fact that 11 Long Island schools have to piss away millions of dollars when that could be spent on improving the education levels at Wyandanch High School and Brentwood High School, a place where up to a quarter, 25% of students are not graduating. Last year, 27% of kids in Wyandanch High School did not graduate. Those numbers are comparable in places like Brentwood, where I believe it was 23%. But no, we're going to spend millions and millions of dollars to make new jerseys and tear up turf fields. Hempstead was just about the same. I believe it was 22% in Hempstead. They've got to rename their schools. And, of course, the only schools that seem to be fighting back are the schools that can afford it the most. Massapequa was fighting back. Syosset's fighting back. I believe East Islip is fighting back. But this is very important to New York State Democrats. Very important to New York State Democrats. It's so important that Democratic Assembly people have blocked a bill to remove Mario Cuomo's name from the bridge and return it to the Tappan Zee Bridge, which, of course, we know was named after the Tappan Zee people, or something like that. It was named after the Indian tribe that was in that particular area. But no. Assembly Democrats have put the kibosh on that. This from the New York Post. A bipartisan bill to rename the Mario Cuomo Bridge, the Tappan Zee Bridge, bit the dust in the Assembly on Tuesday. I am disappointed that the bill did not make it out of committee, Assemblyman John McGowan said, Republican of Rockland County, told the Post after the Transportation Committee Democrats voted to hold the bill. The bill marks the second time in 2 years that the Assembly have blocked the legislation, despite the apparent popularity of ditching the Cuomo name. Disgraced Governor Andrew Cuomo repeatedly strong-armed lawmakers in 2017 into renaming the Trans-Hudson River Bridge, replacing the beloved Tappan Zee after his father, a liberal lion who served 3 terms as governor in the 80s and 90s. Quote, the residents of Rockland County did not have the opportunity to weigh in when the bridge was renamed initially, and again have been denied the opportunity to allow full debate on the floor of the Assembly, McGowan lamented on Tuesday. Assembly Transportation Committee Chair William Maganelli, Democrat of Syracuse, suggested the projected costs of renaming the 3-mile-long structure weighed heavily on legislators on Tuesday. You see, it's not about cost. It's about the virtue signal. It's about we don't want to piss off the Cuomos here in New York. See, because they're not putting this bill forth, the Assembly Committee Chairman has said we're not putting it forth because, look, I want to be clear. I want to make this very clear. Renaming the bridge is a huge waste of money. However, we all want it to come back None of us like Mario Cuomo. None of us like Andrew Cuomo. Who the hell names a bridge after their own father? What are you, some sort of Egyptian pharaoh? Who does shit like that? I'll tell you who does that. Democrats do things like that. That's who does things like that. So it's not about the money. It's about the virtue signal. They don't care about Native Americans, so they'd rename the bridge. They'd put it back to the way it was. But Kathy Hochul and her education committee are forcing 11 Long Island schools to change their mascots, rip up their fields, get new uniforms, a big waste of money. So it's not about the money. It's about pissing off the people who didn't vote for you. I guarantee you, if Nassau and Suffolk County had gone blue, we wouldn't see the sorts of retribution that we are seeing. We just wouldn't. But the only thing worse than an Albany Democrat is a Buffalo Democrat. Luckily, Kathy Hochul has managed to be both in her life. It's just the capriciousness of how she wants to punish people she doesn't like. And she doesn't like you. She doesn't like the people who live in whose kids go to Sachem. She doesn't like the red men of East Islip. She doesn't like the Indians of Brentwood. So she wants it changed. Or one of her social justice activists in the education department, like Lester Young, doesn't like it. But we continue to see Democrats make this move left and right, where they have no reasoning for doing the things that they're doing except to punish the people who don't vote for them. This back to the article. The new signage alone could mean millions of dollars that could be spent on more pressing matters, according to the Syracuse Democrat. Quote, I believe the majority of the committee felt they were okay with keeping the name on the bridge for the late Governor Mario Cuomo and not incurring more expense to the taxpayer of New York. Then why must we rename all of our schools? And I'm sure there's just 11 schools on Long Island. I'm sure there are schools upstate that are going to have to change their names and their uniforms and all that. Schools that really can't afford it. Some of these schools up in the Finger Lakes that are kindergarten through 12th grade because they don't have enough kids to fill a full high school. There's so many of them up there. My buddy's grandfather lives in a school, lives in a town that had a graduating class of like 17 kids. You think that school has the tax funding, has the tax haven to what? Be able to rebuild a stadium, get new jerseys for all of their teams, not just one or two. We're not talking about just getting new helmets for the football team. We're talking about all the schools, all the teams have to rename every single one of their sports teams. I'm sorry, re-outfit every one of their sports teams. You want to talk about a waste of money? Now that is a waste of money. That is little solace to the Hudson Valley resident who felt the bridge should have stuck with the traditional name of Tappan Zee, which comes from the moniker of a local Indian tribe and a Dutch word for sea. See? So, it's really not about protecting the Indians. It's not about doing any of that. It is simply about the virtue signal. Oh, yes, I do want to mention last night I joined We the People Radio. You guys should check that out over at that Rumble channel, We the People Radio over on Rumble. We talked for about 2 hours. We got a little silly. It was a lot of fun. Check that out. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to dive into this live chat a little bit. I can see some people are spouting off about my never. You never go full retard. You're right, Matthias. You never go full retard. Well, the guy I was talking about went full retard somewhere around 1994. Oh, Jay Levo's in the chat. What's going on, brother? I've known that guy, Jay Levo, I don't know, for, what do you think, 25 years, Jay? It's been a long time. Let's see. Let's dive back in. Let's go into this chat. Who's in here? Regina's here. Linda O'Hanlon's here. Of course, we got Janet in the house. Let's see. Who else we got? I'm scrolling through right now. Not Wine Dange, Maria Russo says. Yeah, Wine Dange is on there. Wine Dance is on there. Sachem is trying to fight. Their teams are named the Owl. No, Janet, I want to be clear. Sachem is named the Flaming Arrows because I know that for a fact because we made fun of them about it basically all through high school. It was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, they're just going to withhold state funding if they don't do that, and it's but as I said, it's not about it's not about actually doing anything. Got back from my deployment in February. Been missing your videos. Your deployment, damn, Jay. Well, thank you for that, my friend. Everybody give Jason Olivo a big thanks in the chat. Douglas Cobb, Ohio is in the house. I've got a story today, Doug, about how one of our local Newsday reporters decided to chastise J.R. Majewski. Why did he do that? That's a great question. We've got enough problems of our own. But that's what a fat columnist from Newsday decided to do. A man who spells his name D-A-N-I. What? That's not how guys spell Danny. But, hey, who knows? Maybe he, who is putting gigantic messages in the chat? Oh, somebody promoting their own show. I see. As usual. Yeah, we're going to get to that in just 1 minute because it is astonishing to me how our local Newsday crew has decided that they are going to take a swing at a guy from Ohio. I don't know why. You're a Long Island newspaper. But before we get to that, guys, I urge you all to join me in taking the Field of Greens challenge, everybody. Guys, I've been on this stuff for about a month, and I feel absolutely spectacular because I am way too busy. Way too busy to eat healthy. I don't have enough time to sit down and make home-cooked meals. I'm running around. I'm all over the damn place. I've been in like 12 different places this weekend, during this week, and this weekend's going to be even crazier. By the way, this Saturday night, Kerry Lake is coming to town. I'm very excited. I will put the link in the chat if you guys want to come meet Kerry Lake out here in New York. Super excited about that, but I'm running around all over the place, guys. Field of Greens is the way I keep myself going. It's the way I keep myself going, guys. All the fruits and vegetables in Field of Greens have been specifically chosen to improve heart, liver, and kidney function. It speeds up your metabolism, and it helps out with your immune system. I urge you guys to take the Field of Greens challenge with me today. Just go to fieldofgreens.com and use promo code Kevin at checkout for 15% off everything on their website. That's promo code Kevin over at fieldofgreens.com. Take the Field of Greens challenge with me today and start feeling better. So, it is absolutely majestic to see what certain people care about. So this is, let me see. I really hope I can pull up this article here because this is shameful if you ask me. Why is this not working? Son of a bitch. Let me see. Boom. Oh, there it is. So this is a friend of the show. His name is J.R. Majewski. You guys may know J.R. He was the one who painted his front lawn like a Trump flag a number of years ago. He decided to run for Congress in Ohio last year. And 2 years ago, came up just short. But apparently, Newsday has decided that, you know what they're going to do? Of all the things they could write about, they're going to talk shit about a guy running for Congress in a place that's, I don't know, 900 miles away. Half of my neighborhood is on heroin, but this is what Danny Jansen is going to write about in Newsday. Having no shame in politics. Now, this is an opinion piece, and I want to be clear. It is an opinion piece. One can have their opinion. I can also have an opinion that when you're that bald, you shouldn't have a goatee like that. Let me pull up this weird-looking dude's face. Oh, yeah, that's a winner right there. Can I zoom this thing in? Yeah, look at this guy. That's a winner. Wouldn't you like waking up next to that thing every morning? Oofa. Well, that's Danny Jansen. And, of course, in his opinion piece, he decides he's going to go after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Republicans about how lying in politics gets you places. Gets you places. He talks about how JR got, I don't know, I guess JR got arrested or something while he was on base in Japan. I'm sure he's not the first person to have done that. He talked, of course, we've got to mention George Santos, because we can't write an article about politics in Newsday without mentioning George Santos. Can't do that. No, there's no other politicians on Long Island. Don't worry, guys. Ignore the fact that Doc Spencer just got out of jail and is probably going to run for city council, despite the fact he was trading pills to teenage girls for sex. Somehow that didn't make it into Danny Jensen's article. Somehow, although he does talk about a nerd, someone who was a teacher. She's running for office in Brooklyn, who said she lost her job because of COVID, but apparently she went on maternity leave just before COVID. These are the things that people in Newsday think are incredibly important. And then, of course, he has to drop Trump, while under indictment in Manhattan, is also running. This week, he was endorsed by last year's New York gubernatorial candidate, ex-rep Lee Zeldin. Embarrassment is unfashionable. That's how he describes Lee Zeldin. Embarrassment is unfashionable. Another candidate who fudged his past is J.R. Majewski in Ohio. His congressional campaign last year, the QAnon-friendly Majewski played up his background as an Air Force veteran. He was an Air Force veteran. The guy's literally a nuclear scientist. But no, don't worry. You have a column in Newsday, so I guess you have the right to criticize people who have both served this country and actually do something productive with their lives. Well, he used the Associated Press. So, yes, he was busted for drunk driving on a Japanese Air Force base. So what? Anybody here in the military? Jay, you're here. Jay Olivo, you're in the military, right? You ever heard of anybody getting pulled over for drinking and driving on a military base? Why don't we move along? Move along, guys. Move down the bench. Why don't you bring up the fact, Danny Jensen, why don't you bring up the fact that old Richard Blumenthal lied about going to Vietnam? Why don't you bring up the fact, I don't know, that Joe Biden has lied his entire career about everything? Why not bring up the fact, I don't know, let's have some fun here. How about that ridiculous story Kamala Harris brought up about how she was in the baby stroller with her parents walking through the Civil Rights March and then chanted freedom? Yeah, that didn't happen. How about the fact that 2 days ago, Joe Biden decided to say that he was born in the same hospital as his grandfather, who died 2 weeks before he was born, despite the fact that obituary records prove that Joe Biden's grandfather died a year after he was born in Delaware, and Joe Biden was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Why not bring up those things? No, because you see, your job is to just go after Republicans. But, quote, but there seems to be a special and alarming tolerance these days for the most audacious fakers running for office. Voters, beware. Why not bring up some of the Democrat lies? Let's see, guys. What other Democrat lies do you think Danny Jensen could have brought up? What other Democratic lies could fat-ass reporter from Newsday, Danny Jensen, have brought up? What could that have been? Also, as you guys are doing that, please do hit that Rumble button. Keep sharing this video out all over the place. I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button. Share the video out. That really helps this channel grow. If you're on Rumble and you're new to the channel, hit the follow button right underneath the video. We're almost at 3,000 on Rumble. Super excited. We're almost at 40,000 on Facebook. Giddy up, baby. What? I like round numbers. Help this channel get to 40,000 subs on Facebook. 150 watching on Rumble. Let's see, what do we got? Hit that Rumble button, guys. How many we got in here? Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. What are some other lies that old Danny Jensen could have lied about? Biden suffers from delusions of grandeur. The medical diagnosis. Thanks. Absolutely. That's what they do. It's the amount of nonsense. I mean, and look, we can go to all Joe Biden's lies. We can go to about the Hunter stuff. We can talk about that. But let's just talk about his stupid lies. The fact that no one ever existed named Corn Pop. Okay? He wasn't a bad boy, and he didn't run a bunch of bad dudes, okay? The most ridiculous story I've ever heard in my life. It's spectacular. It's absolutely spectacular. So before we get to the last story of the day, because I've got to talk about it, I've got to talk about the genderbread person. The genderbread person. Yes, you're hearing me correctly. Guys, head on over to LoudMajorityUSA.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out the shop. You guys can use promo code LFA. That's Lima Foxtrot Alpha for 20% off everything on the website. That's the best way to support this show and everything we've got going on over here. Let me pull up some of the good stuff. Let me pull up some of the new stuff we've got coming in here. Guys, you guys have all asked for zip-up hoodies. I know it's a little bit late in the day, a little bit late in the year here, but we just got in Let's Go Brandon towels. These beach towels, these three right here, the MAGA Ultra shirt, the Donald Trump did nothing wrong, and the Let's Go Brandon beach towel. Those have been the hottest sellers so far. You can pick up your very own News 12 Sucks shirt, as fake news gets, because we know that News 12 is absolutely awful. And if you want to outfit your young person to let the rest of the world know that you're raising them correctly, to know what gender they are, you can pick up one of these phenomenal Raised Right t-shirts. We got more zip-up hoodies down here with the Loud Majority moniker on them. Guys, these baby onesies are flying off the shelves. So that's loudmajorityusa.com, loudmajorityusa.com, promo code LFA for 20% off everything on the website. Sounds like I'm listening to Hit the Road Jack song. All right, I don't know. Yeah, News 12 sucks for sure. Absolutely. So let's talk about what a 15-year-old girl. Well, I'm not going to reveal the names of these people. The father of this young girl reached out to me after being chastised in his local community page, because all these Facebook groups seem to be run by absolute leftists. So we're going to talk about what this 15-year-old girl got in her biology class. 15-year-old science class. You guys ready for this? Check out this bad boy. This is called the Genderbread Man. The Genderbread Man. Now, what the hell is the Genderbread Man, and what has to go on here? So, apparently, this genderbread ideology teaches you about metrosexuality and tries to explain to you that gender identity, gender expression, and biological sex are not the same thing. There's a difference between your sex, who you are attracted to, and your identity, which is all encompassed in your gender expression. Now, I'll say it again. For all the people in the back who seem to not understand what's going on here. This is in a 15-year-old biology class. You want to confuse kids a little bit more? I want to know, what about this is scientific in any way, shape, or form? Any way, shape, or form. What about this response to anything that has to do with science? Okay? First off, who you're attracted to is not science. How you identify is not science. Your expression is not science. And also, when the hell did we add a third prong of that little gender emblem? You know, the one that Austin Powers used to wear? When did we add a third emblem? Oh, yes. He's reached out to everybody. And if you're not doing anything on the night of May 3rd, maybe go to the school board meeting with me. Just saying. I can't say it too loud because the crazy people in the back will absolutely lose their minds. Will absolutely lose their shit. But the genderbread man we've got to talk about, because this is what is being taught to all of your kids. That gender expression, that your identity, your gender expression, and your sex are not all the same thing. That they're actually malleable. That you can move them in and out, as we see at the bottom of this absurd graphic. Sexual attraction and romantic attraction are two different things. Also, we see sex assigned at birth, male, intersex, and female. No, you're not assigned to sex at birth. You are what you are. That's called science. But the school would be Merrick Belmore, I think it is. I know it's Merrick in another school. I think it's Merrick Belmore. Merrick Belmore. We got to go support. Look, guys, we have got to get the sort of enthusiasm and vigor that we had during the COVID mandates at a lot of these school board meetings. Unfortunately, a lot of people, you know, the Patriot Group leaders, all those fucking frauds, where have they been? Where are they? Hello. Can't find you anywhere. Turns out when the attention goes away, so does the work ethic. When the attention goes away, so does the work ethic. Bottom line, I want to know where all these people are. What have they been doing since the world got back to normal? Have they been going back to going on vacation, or are they still plugging away every single day, going to school board meetings left and right? We had 2 people at the Smithtown school board meeting yesterday. I was unable to attend. I had a family emergency. But people have been, a couple people have still been popping up, rocking their loud majority stuff. Where are, all the Long Island Patriot leaders? Where are they? All right, they're too busy pumping their worldwide freedom rally that nobody's going to go to, because nobody ever goes to those things. But you guys just don't seem to stop. You don't seem to stop. But don't worry. I absolutely don't have your internal text messages of every single one of you talking shit about me. I absolutely don't have those. So, don't worry about that. Once again, guys, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button. Keep sharing this video out so that people who actually want to get involved in the process, not people who are out there just seeking attention, and then deleting all of their Facebook posts from the past. Make sure you guys share this video out so that everybody knows what's going on, particularly if you're in the Merrick Belmore area, so that they know that their kids are being indoctrinated with utter disgusting nonsense like this genderbread man crap, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's not science. It's none of that. So make sure you guys share the video out. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button. Keep sharing that URL out. If you're new to the page, I want to welcome everybody to the Loud Majority family. Hit that follow button right at the bottom of the page. Once again, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out the shop so you never miss out on anything we've got going on. The weather's getting nicer. Things are going to be rocking and rolling. It's school board season. And you know when it's school board season, we don't stop. Team No Sleep. Let's go. What happened to the group that used to meet in Comac? I don't know. There was a group that used to meet in Comac. I'm not really sure about that. Yes, so what else was there? Oh, yes, I did want to talk about of course, the news, the departure of Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. More importantly, I want to talk about the departure of Don Lemon because, quite frankly, I'm enjoying it. I'm absolutely enjoying it. So it turns out that Don Lemon made up. It's funny. Danny Jansen didn't put that in his ridiculous article about J.R. Majewski, about how Don Lemon lied about how he was fired with CNN executives in order to get people to feel bad for him. Danny Jansen didn't find a way to put that into his ridiculous article. I guess he was too busy sucking down high fructose corn syrup like the rest of the fat people out there. But this is why nobody reads Newsday anymore. Just so you guys know, I'm going to tell you a little story about Newsday, what they did last week. And I emailed the author of this piece. I emailed the editor. I emailed the publisher. One would think they might respond. No. They completely slandered an 80-year-old man as an extremist. And are you ready for the proof that they used on why this man was an extremist? He's an extremist because his daughter liked one of my Facebook posts. That's what Newsday considers journalism, guys. Maybe that's why nobody reads your crappy paper anymore. Maybe that's why when a father has a problem in Merrick, they don't call you, they call me. Maybe that's why. because his daughter liked one of my Facebook posts. And I want to be clear, this is not some new writer, okay? The person who wrote this article, let me see if I can pull up her Twitter real quick. Do I have it? Let me see. Give me 1 second. I've already forgotten what her name was. Because, she wasn't that important. Brianne Letty. Brianne Letty on Twitter. Feel free to go have a good time, guys, with that one. Reporter at Newsday. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll email her over at Newsday one more time, see if she decides to respond. But it's not like she's new at the journalism thing. She was the editor of the Statesman at Stony Brook. One more newspaper that wouldn't publish my articles, despite the fact I was a paying student going there in the journalism school. No big deal. I've gotten over it, guys. Because it turns out I got into journalism anyway without you placing me in some nonsense job. But that is the state of our local media, guys. That is the state of our local media. Fox News ditches Tucker Carlson. He will be bigger than ever. Don Lemon is out. The CEO of NBC is out. People are dropping like flies, but we're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, we are just getting started. We're just getting started, guys. I want to thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. On your way out the door, please do hit that Rumble button. Keep sharing this video out all over the place. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button. Also, you guys can tag your friends now in the comments if you want them to check out the show so that they can see some stuff going on in their local area. Also, if you guys want, go to the regular Facebook page, hit the 3 buttons at the top. You can go down and invite your friends to like the page. Help us get to 40,000. Also, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out the shop. All this good stuff, guys. That's the best way to support what we've got going on over here at the Loud Majority. I want to thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I will see you guys back. Rumble.com/LFATV at 1 p.m. for my 1 o'clock show on LFA TV. If you guys jump on over there now, Jeremy Harrell will be there at 9 o'clock with his phenomenal morning prayer show, Rise Up. I think we could all use a little bit of prayer in our lives. Also, guys, one more time, mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's mypillow.com. Promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. Support the great Mike Lindell because he supports shows like this one. Guys, until Friday morning or 1 p.m. today, rumble.com/LFATV. I'll see you all then, everybody. Stay loud.